1.
I can't believe we recorded 2.5 hours of the podcast only for OBS to crash on us and delete it all.
Yeah.
I'm already.
It really sucks.
I'm dead.
I'm not so dead.
Just now?
Yeah.
I guess I'm the only one who's alive at the moment, but that might change real soon.
And we are the game dead. Yes. Anyway.
Game dead. Move on next game. Play game I like instead.
Yes.
Xbox suck by PlayStation.
Consoles suck.
Oh, that's a dirty lie.
Consoles suck by dirty sock. Plays Witcher 3 better.
Oh.
How many PlayStations are we on? 5, 6? They probably have a half-decent controller at this point.
You would like the DualSense 5.
I don't know.
I think it's about stick placement.
Well, if it's about stick placement, then you can probably buy an Akon, and that you can buy pretty much.
Rapper?
Yes, you can buy pretty much. You can buy pretty much any knockoff DualShock and or whatever controller. It will have the Xbox layout. This is a problem that you could have fixed 3 generations ago, Pink.
Well, I think 3 generations ago is when I gave up on PlayStation.
Yes.
Oh! Those 2 hours are really hurting me. Those 4 hours of lost
we already talked about everything, we're just kind of in this awkward phase of now we got to do the whole thing over.
Yeah.
I don't think we can be as funny the second time as we were the first time.
Oh well.
Now we are left with the last resort. Religion and politics.
Oh boy.
Alright, so I actually power bumped the Pope.
Yep.
What?
I'm sorry, did you say Howard pumped the Pope?
Power bomb.
Oh, power bomb the Pope.
I thought you were talking about that guy we used to know named Howard. I thought you were saying like he had gay sex with the Pope.
Yeah, I taped it. It's selling great. It's still on a VHS. It's still on a VHS because that's all of the technology they have at the Vatican.
How did he get from Minnesota to the Vatican? That's my question.
Plane.
Well, did he turn into it like a fucking transformer?
Plane.
You don't know. Maybe.
He grabbed onto one at the airport as it was leaving. He grabbed onto the back tail fin.
Yeah.
The whole flight, the pilots were wondering why the aerodynamics were off.
Ever so slightly.
The plane crashed. There were no survivors except Howard. Oh boy. Okay. This is not at all a podcast thing, but Addy, I hate checking Reddit, and I really shouldn't do it, but I did check the Super Best Friends Reddit on the right day. Did you see that van post?
Which post? Van?
The post of the different vans?
Probably not.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up then.
Are we talking like vehicular vans? Vans, pardon me, not bands.
Yes, the kind of vehicle that in the back you either commit sex things or drug things.
Ah.
Yes, the white variety. The white flavor.
Floridian
no reason
variety.
to bring race into this. Come on now, Addy. You should know better.
It's not my fault that y'all are bland. I say it to the not actually white guy.
The only not white guy here.
I'm not white either, dude.
Well, that's fair, but you're European.
That doesn't automatically make me white. But no, technically I'm Asian. If you want to get real pedantic, technically I'm Asian.
Now that is true.
Oh god.
Not the kind of Asian you think, but whatever.
Yeah, from the that area, continent, place.
Yeah, like that.
Oh god, fucking classic Europe racism where Hungarians are Asian and fucking Spaniards are African.
No,
and Italians are African too.
Hungarians are not.
As a matter of fact, Germans are also Asian. So it's just only England, France, and the Nordic countries are the real white people, apparently.
But yeah, although now Hungarians are white, it's the gypsy part that's technically allegedly we come from Punjab, so I guess he's my cousin now.
Nice.
Boy, fucking everything comes out of Punjab.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Like, you know,
like if I understand, there's
500 million years ago, some people who looked like me that share the same ethnicity came out from Punjab, so that makes Kali my cousin now.
You need to call him up for some wrestling lessons. Oh man,
Kali, how do I broom?
Yeah, more baba chops. Don't bump for that.
Yeah.
Have any of Kali's students actually came to the WWE?
I don't think so.
I think that big Hindu girl in the Mae Young Classic. What was she not trained by Kali?
I'm pretty sure she was. Yeah.
Okay, and she was not complete shit, right?
She was pretty terrible.
Oh, so she was a student of Kali.
Absolutely.
She had a good look, though.
Oh yeah, very tall.
Yeah, very beefy.
I don't remember if they kept her around. I feel like she had a match or 3 after the Mae Young Classic of 2017 or so. But
and then they found Raquel and they sacked her immediately.
Right. Raquel was in like the first or second one. I know that for a fact. And she was way green back then. And she didn't have her physique that she does now. She put in some hard time in the gyms, boyo.
Was she already married to Braun back then?
No.
Okay, they got together during the WWE run then?
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. Hey, all right, Pink. What you got coming out on your channel this week?
Hey, well, I've got more Ultimate Alliance coming out as per the usual. I will have the Far Cry Free Weekend Special coming out on Sunday tomorrow. And I think that wraps up everything I've got for me that will be coming out on the channel.
All right. Hachi.
Well, I have another review coming out on Monday. And, I didn't stream this week because, I don't know if I want to put this during my week, but whatever. I'm a godfather now. I have my whole...
Hey!
No, but, yeah. But yeah, so...
I'm gonna need somebody to help me understand, because when I hear Godfather, I think hose. And,
yeah, I made that joke already.
I'm sure there's an actual, like, designation that Godfather means.
But Godfather is a person that may or may not be actually related to the child that you just want to give attention to, I guess, or whatever. You want them to give attention to the child, and you want them to have a title, pretty much. So like this, like I actually have 2 nieces now, but my sister wants me to be the godfather for this one because I wasn't allowed to be the godfather for the first one.
I see.
Because like unironically, I got politicked out of being the godfather for my niece because, well, my first niece right now, I guess. But yeah, because well, there was no way that there was no way that my sister could spin making or older sister the godmother and me the godfather and make it actually look presentable. Because that's what she wanted, but you know.
when it comes to family matters, as soon as you exit the highway of brother, sister, or mother, father, I'm completely lost.
Yep. That
Less I have to deal with that stuff, the better.
I agree with you, but at the same time, I've disowned most of my family, so makes things easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that's been taking up a lot of the week because, well, the baby wasn't expected for another like 2 weeks, but she ended up like me in that she just went no. Actually, I will be born now. But then she changed her mind a couple of times during the week, which was the problem.
I think I was an early baby too, not by coming out early, but had to be C-section because I was getting the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Yeah. My sister, I think, came at an appropriate time, but my mom at that point was like, fuck it, I already got the scar, just cut her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born really early, but I was born the size that I should have been when I was born when I was scheduled to born. So it only caused the minor brain damage or whatever the fuck led to my epilepsy.
You see.
I like how it implies though that you were a super growing baby.
Yeah. The thing is, if I was actually born on the scheduled date, I would have come out fully formed, and that would have just been bad. But yeah, so that's why I haven't streamed or done any like video work or whatever. I do have whatchamacallit, a notepad so I can actually make notes if I play a game now. I will not take notes if I'm not recording the game, because then I can't sync it up with the recording, but you know, I can make notes now. I just have to learn how to do them.
Hey!
Streams might happen sometime. The baby is scheduled to come home tomorrow, so you know, depending on how the baby is, streams might happen. They probably won't.
I see.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my channel.
Alright. On my channel, it is impossible to predict what will come this week. I have figured out how to record Gladius, so there we go. I've got one thing I can record easily. Thank God. Putting that aside, who knows whether or not Crab Assembly will release any news this month. If they do, I will definitely be making a video about that. Beyond that, it really just depends on what I can come up with to record. I have been thinking about it. I'll have to bring this up with Mike. Mike's probably going to be busy for a minute because they just released Sons of the Forest, and so he's going to be dumping all of his time forever into that.
Yeah.
But barring that, there was actually an idea I had to do with Mike, probably 6 months ago now. But I should probably ask him if he wants to try again, because it didn't work last time on my old PC. Because my old PC wasn't quite up to snuff for what we wanted to do, but it might work on this one.
3D printing Mike.
Yes.
You will actually make him a real person.
I'll set up a second webcam.
Instead of our AI friend.
Yeah. I want to build an army of Mikes. This is the automated labor we were talking about.
Yeah. Something ultimate misogynist.
Yeah. Why did we choose to replace automated labor with a guy who suffers from massive anxiety?
It's fine. He's working with himself.
Yeah. Oh my. The anxiety makes the products better.
Yeah. What do you sell? Anxiety medicine. Oh, that's too real, isn't it?
Anxiety medicine. We are sucking the anxiety out of these Mike clones and putting it in pill form. It's a pill that gives you anxiety.
Sure. I mean, you know that would be a designer drug for the rich.
They'd try it once and go, oh, fuck that, not ever again.
People live with this stuff? Unbelievable.
Knowing rich people, they probably have stupid anxiety about shit anyways. That's that purpose in life question Soon kept asking earlier that I kept answering. Like, that's a great problem to have. Stop worrying about it. What'll I do in a post-scarcity economy? Anything you want! Shut up!
Yeah, I don't understand people with an innate need to work. But then, I'm also a waste of space. Consider this.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of hobbies that you do that would be considered work after a variety anyway.
That's true. Like,
and on top of that,
yeah,
there are, as long as you are interacting with people and you aren't manipulative or abusive towards them, you are every day, in a way, being therapy for a variety of people you interact with in your life by just being a friend.
What?
Inconceivable.
I
don't believe this.
Let's go back to talking about something stupid.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is that I should ask G-Man for money, but only him.
Hey, I said not being abusive or manipulative. I think we abused G-Man enough.
Yeah.
To ask him to pay us. The thing I love about G-Man, and I've mentioned this before, is that G-Man is so used to us all just kind of like, he says something dumb, and then we say, G-Man, that's dumb. But the moment that someone that G-Man thinks is on his level, like Gog, the moment that Gog slips up, he was like, "Oh, you dumb idiot! You you fucking idiot moron! You fool! We all hate you." And it's just like those moments, more than any other moment, I am so inclined to say, you know, I actually like Gog. Oh man,
this is one of those things where, like, I think about it, and I can't say that I like Gog. At the same time, he's inoffensive enough towards me that I generally just don't mind him existing. Like, I wouldn't want him to leave. I'd missed him. I just wouldn't say that I like him, you know?
Gog's just one of those guys who I'm built to disagree with, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm really not sure him and I agree on anything.
Remember how Gog is...
He tried to get me kicked off the podcast? Yes!
I don't remember that part. I do remember how technically he's the reason that technically he's the catalyst that started the resurrection of the channel, and then I just took over because he got bored.
Yeah. I said, okay, I'll be there for that too, but don't expect me to do the majority of the work of running the channel this time, because I was doing the majority of the work of maintaining the channel in the first attempt, and it didn't work, and I didn't like that at the time, and now I'm more willing to actually do work to maintain the channel. But at the time, I was just kind of having a stance of, I'll be there, I'll be part of the podcast, I'll gladly take part of the chats, but I don't want to run the channel. And Gog said I wasn't carrying my end of the load, and it was really stupid. There was a PM, I think it was you, me, and Gog, and someone else. I don't know if it was you, Pink.
It was you, me, Mike, Gog, X-Men, I want to say. Who else? Like two other people, Grammar, Gramps, and some other people. Like it was just generally whoever.
I definitely would not have been in there at the time, because I didn't join until after the revival, and even after that, it was a significant amount of time, I want to say, before I actually joined up on the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like Gog just a group messaged everyone that was like, "Hey, I might be tangentially or interested in this," and then he just messaged everyone at the same time. about his idea of being the creatures, which, no?
Yeah. We need to
God
get
knows
Graveskin
who the
for one of these
creatures
calls
were?
sometime. Oh, God. You know,
But
the funny thing is, I
yeah.
think... The funny thing is, I think all but one of the creatures are still making videos. Do you know who that one creature is that isn't making videos?
Food truck?
Uh-huh. Oh, boy. Didn't he get a job at, like, 343 or something?
I have no clue.
Anyways. Oh, what? Group channel, right. We haven't hit the group channel yet.
Yeah. I don't have that up yet. Give me a sec.
Yes. Huh.
So yeah, while that opens up, I don't know, do you want to reminisce about the behind the scenes of this channel's revival? Before it became what it is now? Nothing.
I didn't even know GOG had a role to play in like any aspect of this goings on.
Yeah, no, he really wanted us to get big like the creatures, and I forget who else, but he pointed out another like group that was like, you know, that was based around playing games together and stuff like that.
That was...
Yeah.
Were the creatures even still around by then?
They
Yes,
couldn't
but they
have
were.
been.
No, they were. No, they were, because this took like 2 years. Like this whole thing around 2017 is when the channel actually restarted. Before then, we've been discussing restarting the channel for like, I want to say 2 to 3 years, because he's wanted to do it. I've wanted to just be on the podcast when it first started, but I didn't have the setup for it, which is why I just said I know.
Would Cow Chop not have started in like late 2015 or early 2016?
I don't.
The creatures
think
kept
so.
going for a little bit though, with just Kutra, Dan, and
Did
the
they though?
interns.
Did they really though?
Well, okay. If we're arguing quality kept going, then I don't know. I had already tuned out before Alex and Nova had left.
Yeah.
Sure,
Jeez,
somebody's got a timeline out there. I'm not gonna bother googling it though.
That's just a blast from the past. I haven't thought about those guys in a long time.
Yeah. But yeah, so like he had this idea of us being a channel like that, but like, you know.
But good.
Well, I don't know.
If that's what he was expecting, he was wrong in that regard as well, but still.
Yeah. I do have the videos up, by the way. So, on Monday, I believe, it's gonna be Operation Claymore 2, finally.
Very nice, very nice.
I'm imagining the old scientist meme where he's got the beaker up in front of his face. Finally, Operation Claymore 2.
Yeah. Then, Garo, Mark of the Wolves.
We got
Friday.
what?
Buster
What
Wolf.
is that?
Wolf Piss.
The last Fatal Fury. The last
Yeah.
Fatal Fury, Pink.
Ah.
But yeah. So that's the group channel. Wait, no, Fighting Games are. Fighting Games are is this week, right? Right?
Yes, yes it is. And boy, are we spoiled for content.
Yeah. So yeah, Fighting Games are also coming out sometime. Yeah.
That Cammy stretch animation is... That Cammy stretch animation is making the rounds, huh?
Oh boy!
Yeah!
I watched that video the other day, and I was doing my live, not live commentary or anything, but live reactions in the Discord channel, and the reason it took me so long to get to the end was because I replayed that Cammy stretch animation like 12 or 15 times over. Maybe more. Probably a lot more. Oh lordy.
Oh.
I clicked the video at first because I was upset because it was like they had Zangief, the new chick, and Cammy in the thumbnail, and they were hyping it up in the text box with Cammy, what was her face, Lily, and Zangief, and I was like, that doesn't look like Cammy because her beret's gone, and I noted that. But once I watched the video, I was like, okay, all's forgiven. We can lose the beret.
That doesn't look like Cammy. I can't see her ass.
Yeah.
Right? Those are her most distinguishable qualities when it comes to character design. You got the
I don't know, those pants are pretty tight. You can still see her ass.
You've got the wild, I'm not sure what they'd be called, pigtails? But they're not pigtails because they're long. She's got the long braids. And then she's got the ass. And then in the thumbnail, she didn't have the beret. She didn't have the braids. And you can't really see her ass from that angle because it's a picture of her face. It's like, who is that? Who is that? But then I watched the video and all was right in the world.
Meanwhile, Geef. Bullshit.
What a hunk of man that Zangief is.
It looks like we're going to get Street Fighter Zangief with more shit, which, hey. Everything, sure. Why not? Fuck it. Let's go for it.
One of the patch notes will just be replace Zangief with Iron Tiger.
No, I don't want that. No. Well, I mean, look, here's the thing, right? I didn't mention it, but not only does this Geef in the trailer already have all the Street Fighter V Geef tools, I didn't mention it, but he's also, that triple stomp is from Street Fighter EX.
Nice.
So, we're digging deep here, boys.
Yeah. Oh God, do you think Ryu will have the flying upper or whatever the flying kicks that Ken had then? Because they had that.
Nobody cares about Ryu. This isn't Ryu's game.
That is true, but also I think we've already seen all Ryu and Ken can do. However, Akuma might be able.
I don't want that. I like Akuma with classic tattoos. Akuma's new in Akuma's new super. He pulls out a gun.
Yeah. This brings a new definition to killing intent.
It's fine. You should be able to parry it. He got to train in Fortnite.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look, it's Ryo from Fortnite.
It's Ryo Sakazaki from Fortnite.
Yeah. We're crossing into the Gandalf, Morgan Freeman territory of using Dumbledore quotes attributed to Gandalf, and then it's a picture of, like, Iron Man.
Was that the name of the wizard from Monty Python?
No.
Tim. It was Tim.
Yes.
Right.
Some call me Tim. Or no. Hang on, you gotta carry it. Tim? The vital part of that line is it sounds like he's confused by his own name. Carry on this podcast, I will implement a variety of cool new Fire Pro mod animations I have found. Don't mind me.
To the podcast.
Yes. That's right. I'm going to be implementing Masahiro Chono putting Pink in a fucking butterfly lock. I hope you like getting your pecs stretched, Pink.
I don't think I do.
Too bad. You have to do it for the views.
Yeah.
What views? We don't get views. Views are illegal here.
Unironically, we've actually been getting better, more views, like consistently.
Disgusting.
How dare you enjoy our content?
How dare you, dear viewer, view this podcast when you can't view anything because it's all audio. Disgraceful.
There's one static picture, Pink. Give us some credit.
Fair enough.
We can afford one picture.
We can afford one picture. We change it every week, and we can afford no more.
And so sometimes even that overloads the encoding somehow. So
It's a slow, steady crawl to actual viewership.
yeah.
YouTube at this point has started to give us some SEO just on sheer basis of consistency.
No, not even that. It's just on the pure basis of, oh, we fucked up the algorithm, so now it sends out people with no views.
Nice.
Yeah. My fucking my Sumeragi review has gotten 26 views, which is a lot more than I've gotten in the videos that I released during the time that the algorithm wasn't fucked. So thank you, thank you, Base Susan, for your one less blessing while you exit.
She hit the button as she was leaving the door, then she sprinted to the car.
Yeah, they don't know I did it if I run.
Yeah. She interns.
Susan didn't step down from her position. She was disposed of by the Google ninjas. You heard it here first, folks.
A member of the legal team smashes the fucking fire safety stuff, grabs an axe, and chases her out into the parking lot.
Yeah. You're kind of welcome around here. He's also redneck, I guess.
Oh boy. Ooh. What were we talking about?
What's come out on your channel, I guess. Oh no, we hit that. So never mind. Pink's week.
What did I do with my week? Somebody tell me.
Wasted it all just to watch you go.
All right, this week. Oh, what a week it was. A week for the ages. Yes. I don't know, I played Civ 6. New Egyptian and Mali leader.
Totally for a short one today. It's probably a good thing I've already got Fire Pro open, huh?
Oh yeah. Don't worry, we'll elongate it with our I was about to say SummerSlam Elimination Chamber discussion.
Oh god,
Chamber.
Oh yeah. Oh
Elimination
yeah.
Slam. Elimination Slam.
Elimination Slam.
That was actually someone's finish at some point. That has to be.
Is that a better or worse thing than the newspaper?
Is the newspaper an actual move?
Oh, it's a double knuckle. That's it. That's the newspaper. Like it's just two punches at the same time with both hands.
Seems complicated.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Only the most ambidextrous of individuals can pull it off.
Generico.
True. I'm fairly ambidextrous, but I'd probably have a difficult time doing it. I don't believe in my strikes. They're not well conditioned, and my feet are not well educated, so I'm doomed in a fight.
Your feet are dumb. You need to send them to feet college.
I don't think they'd be able to get into feet college. They'd be denied. Their grades aren't high enough. They got to go back to preschool.
My God.
My God.
You need to go back to pre-F.
Pre-F?
Instead of pre-K.
What'd you call me?
Instead of pre-K.
I gotcha. But yeah, the new leaders for Civilization 6 were released a couple of weeks ago, actually. I just haven't gotten around to playing it all that much. Ptolemy Cleopatra, to me, is the highlight of this because it's just Cleopatra, but better. Finally, we have an Egypt that doesn't suck, and it's nice. And then you've got Ramses, who just has one of the city-state abilities to get 15% of culture from the production you'd accomplish from building a building in either your city center or district. So that's nifty, and if I were good at math, it'd be noticeable for me, but since I'm not good at math, I just kind of ignore it, and when I get free culture, it's nice, but I never know how much I'm getting, so it's not nice. And then there's the new Mali leader, who gets great people at a gold discount of 20%, so he can buy great persons for 20% less. And to me, that seems like a lateral move, because he doesn't have the Molly ability to where he gets gold based on the amount of flat desert terrain in his cities. So he's not quite making money hand over fist like Mansa Musa does, but he gets cheaper great people. So to me, it just kind of bounces out into a not really a big change, because Mansa Musa makes so much gold that buying great people isn't a big deal. But Sudiata, he gets the discount on great people, so he doesn't make as much gold, but he gets the great people for cheaper. So to me, it all balances out to be equal. His big thing, though, is that his banks have slots for great works of writing or art, or I don't know which ones. It might be just great works of anything. And every great work provides him with gold and production. So that was actually very good, because production is not Molly's strongest suit whatsoever. So to have a Molly that does get decent production, it works out nicely. So that was very exciting. Addy,
I need to give these new leaders a shot at point.
You need what?
I need to give some of these new leaders a shot at some point.
Oh yeah, they've all been pretty fun. Pretty fun. I'd highly recommend. None of them are downright broken that I'm aware of. Now, I'm probably wrong about that. Somebody's probably slipping my mind, but it's all been very oddly well balanced in comparison to their what was
kind of hard
called?
to beat the Gauls right now, isn't it?
Gauls are fairly good. I wouldn't say they're the best though. That title still falls firmly into the lap of Babylon or like Gran Colombia.
All right, I guess.
Yeah, I was about to. I was kind of expecting something there.
Yeah.
I heard Alex say and I was expecting him to go on, but then he didn't. Then I was worried he got dropped from the call, so I had to open up Discord.
He got drop kicked.
Now I see a turret flying
kicked
around the room. Now that I open up Discord, that's an image. Why don't I have that saved to my phone?
Oh, good God.
That's a lot of messages that I've been ignoring in the Discord. I'm going to ignore that a little bit longer.
Yep.
Yeah. Outside of Civilization 6, I don't think there was anything new I did this week. So I as far as I'm aware, I'm free to pass off the baton to anyone who wants to take it.
All right. Well then, I played Splitgate. It's okay. I haven't played Unreal Tournament because it never looked appealing to me. I've played similar modes that aped Unreal Tournament, but never the actual game. Splitgate is the first actual arena shooter that I'm trying. It's fun. I'm surprisingly good, and I don't know why. Like
arena shooters are generally very reliant on map knowledge and movement.
That's probably why. Yeah, the only time that I draw or that I stop is generally either when I'm trying to hold a point, in which case the enemies are locked in there with me, or when I die. But like there's only either standing or running. There is no walking. The Splitgate has a problem where half of the guns kind of suck. I don't like half of the guns. And
that's kind of an arena shooter thing. It's all about the rocket launchers, baby.
I don't like the rocket launcher in this game. It's too slow. It has too much recovery. You also only get like 2 shots. Which is
there's reloading?
Yes.
Oh, that's a massive change from the arena style.
Splitgate has reloading. Splitgate has portals. Splitgate also has double jumps. And a jetpack, actually, now that I think about it.
Huh.
Like, you can turn portals off, but not reloading or the double jumps and jetpack.
Huh.
And yeah, the portals are a lot of fun. Sometimes I get outplayed and it makes me mad because the person was playing 5D chess. But other times I outplay the entire enemy team and start hard carrying my team. just through portals. Like, you would be surprised how many people just don't look at the obvious portal walls that are behind them. Including me, mind you. But you know. How many people just don't look at the portal walls, and then you can just shoot them through the portals and they die. And then like, doing portal stuff is also just good mind games. I haven't been able to master that yet, but it's been used against me a lot, like enough for me to see some ways to actually utilize it. Which is to say that sometimes, you know, people like you put down a portal and people will just aggro the portal instead of you. Like, even if they're shooting you, there's a chance that they'll just look over at the portal and just throw the grenade, the EMP grenade that makes portals go away at it, and which means that they're not able to shoot you.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you figure out in Overwatch, just start dumping sentries down anytime that you really are going to have an actual gunfight, even though you know the sentry will get killed immediately.
Yeah. And like the thing is that this is a 50-50 mix-up. Because you can try to do the fake out with the portals. Alternatively, if you had enough wherewithal and time, you can actually put in an escape route with the portals so that you can just jump through it and appear behind the guy or whatever and shoot them then.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of stuff that you can do with the portals that makes the game a lot of fun. It works like Portal. Funnily enough. The game that came up with the way to utilize this tech is the thing that was copied to utilize this tech. Huh. And it's also like it's also fun because you can go through the enemy team's portals too. Like the only difference between everyone's portals is you can see through your portal, but not anyone else's. So you can still use them if they're open, but you don't see what's on the other side. I have shot people blindly through portals.
Well, they probably deserved it.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm sad because a couple of days ago I had a really good round. I got a 5 kill. Like I've got a pentakill. This game has 4 people teams, by the way. I got a pentakill.
Nice.
And I wanted to record it, but the game wouldn't allow me to. Because, well, no, PlayStation wouldn't allow me to. It wouldn't boot up the actual, like, save whatchamacallit, clip thing fast enough. And I didn't want to just stand around and die in team deathmatch while I save the clip of the one clip of me being really good at the game. But yeah, the progression is also good. Like, it has our battle ass, it has MTX. But the battle ass, like, I don't know how it works exactly because I haven't paid the game a penny, and I still get to unlock the stuff that's allegedly on the premium lane.
Yeah,
which is weird. And like, you know, like I don't mean like in Smite when it's like, oh, if you bought the thing, then we get this too. No, the thing that's on the premium lane, I also have that unlocked. I can access it, and I haven't bought the battle ass. So that's weird. But also the game has just a good way to... It also has loot boxes. But it uses them good because the loot boxes aren't a thing that you can actually buy for money. It's just, you do missions, you get a loot box. You might get some, like, stuff from it. That's it.
Man, So obviously it's a very different question when it's loot boxes that can't be paid for. But I still get, even when we talk about loot boxes that can't be paid for, I still get Injustice 2 PTSD flashbacks.
Ah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. But, you know, it's like, I'm looking at this and I go, this is better than the alternative. Like,
yeah.
If this mechanic has to be in the game, I prefer it this way.
Yeah.
And the Battle Pass, like, once again, I don't get why I'm getting the premium stuff, but I mean, if they just went, okay, it seems like the Battle Pass isn't actually being updated. It's an endless Battle Pass.
Endless ads.
Yes, Pink's dream.
Oh man. Oh man.
I am sending over.
And that might explain why I'm getting the premium lane stuff. That they just went, okay, actually the battle pass isn't like worth our time. It's whatever, fuck it. But still, it is still weird when I think of other games like I have to keep bringing up Dead by Daylight because that's the one that I know of for sure. That it has a paid battle pass on top of an actual paid price. Meanwhile, this is a free game with a free battle pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Splitgate's been a lot of fun. Some of the UI or whatever, the menus is a bit janky, but it's fine. You know, like for the large sum of $0, I can forgive the UI being a bit cryptic sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah. I also played Wild Arms. Wild Arms is a PS1 RPG.
Is it good?
It's about the secret of gun.
Is it good?
It's been interesting so far, but I don't know just yet. Like, it seems like you have 3 separate characters that you can play, and the story will converge at one point, I suppose. I have played one
Are
character.
any of them babes?
What?
Are any of them babes?
2 of them.
Oh, sounds like a good game to me.
One of them's a not even.
Even better.
But yeah, I've played one character's introduction, and it was fine. I mean, the combat mechanic isn't anything. The combat mechanic isn't anything interesting aside from the way it's presented, because the controls of it are weird. Like it's just the generic what you'd expect turn-based RPG combat mechanic, but instead of having the text options like you would in Final Fantasy, say, instead of that, you have like a cross, and you need to press the directional pad towards whatever you want, and then press X to confirm. And there is no text. There's only like there's only emblems.
What?
Yeah. Like there are some text, like there are some boxes with text in them once you open them up, but only on the main UI there is no text. And the thing is, this game is very customizable. You can make new emblems for all of the emblems. You can also make your own custom text boxes, or well, backgrounds for text boxes, but whatever. Which seems like a really nice addition. I don't think I'll actually use it because doing pixel art sounds like a lot of effort. But it's a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's Wild Arms. I don't have an opinion on it because I've only played for like an hour, and that in RPG time that's like 2 minutes.
You're not wrong there.
Then I guess, you know, in order from fastest to longest, I gave a chance to the series Nichijou. Nichijou is an anime series that was recommended a while back, and I saw a GIF of a clip from the series, and I was like, maybe I should check this out actually. Which, W, you weren't here for that one, but let's see if I can still find it because it should be easily findable or whatever. If you scroll up in the general voice text chat, you see the guy suplexing the deer.
Oh, yes, that. I've seen that GIF for 10 years now.
Yeah, that's from Nichijou. And I saw that GIF and I went, okay, actually, maybe I'll give this a look. So Nichijou is a comedy series. It's a I would call it a skit comedy series because that's the best way I can put it. It's they have these short skits with the characters, and then just on to the next skit after we're done with that. It's also a parody, I suppose, of slice of life high school anime. The slice of life high school moe anime. Moe blob even probably.
Kill me.
Yes.
I don't know what any of that means.
Okay, I thought you misinput something. So yeah, anyway. I gave it a chance. I watched two episodes, and I went, I hate all of these characters. I don't want to watch this anymore. The problem is the actual comedy part of the series had some good moments.
Fucking bullshit!
That was well timed.
The actual comedy
I actually was.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm displeased with all of this.
Like the actual comedy bits, once again, had some good moments. There was a gag where a guy who rides a goat to school has the goat banned, and he's trying to appeal the ban. So, by the way, it's absurdist humor. I need to point that out. But yeah, so then one of the other kids just
figured that out from the deer suplex.
Yeah.
Now this is a grounded comedy show.
Yeah. But yeah, so the guy who rides a goat to the school has the goat banned. He's trying to appeal it. A girl pulls out a gun, shoots him. He no-sells it. Just continues doing the scene.
Honestly, it'd be funnier if no one acknowledged her shooting the guy.
They didn't.
And he just dies.
Well, no. They do the thing. They never acknowledge her shooting the guy. Guy just falls over. Next scene, he stands up, continues the speech. Or not even next scene, but next camera cut, I guess. And like, stuff with that, fine. Like as long as it's like the not actual main characters. It's the other students who don't actually get characters, or just the principal who is the person replacing the deer or whatever. Those scenes could have some good moments. But just like most moe anime, it's about girls being like schoolgirls being cute, and that is very not my aesthetic. In fact, it's the reason I don't watch anime anymore. So, like the rise of moe stuff is why I got out of anime in the first place. So like I can acknowledge that there are some good jokes in Nichijou. I will not watch Nichijou. As long as you don't replace the characters, I won't watch Nichijou anymore.
I'm out of here. Fuck this shit.
Yeah. Like a similar looking thing is Pop Team Epic. But in Pop Team Epic, like Pop Team Epic is just a new age Looney Tunes show. Like the design, like the Popomo and Pipimi, whatever the fuck their names are, I forget. Like they are schoolgirls in design, because that's the generic anime design. But past that, you could replace them with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, and the jokes wouldn't change.
Yeah.
So like that works. And also, not only would the jokes not change, but the characters don't have a really particularly set personality aside from Crass. So much so that they just do reruns of old shorts, with the joke being that they recast the characters, so they're dubbed by like Majima and Kiryu or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that Pop Team Epic for me just worked a lot better, just because once again they didn't lean into the actual for one, Pop Team Epic is not a parody of one specific genre; it's just anime, which gives them a lot more leeway with that. But they didn't lean into the characters being anything really. And that worked out in their favor because I can't hate them as much. Like if I don't like how these characters act in this short, well, guess what? They won't act like this in the next one. I can say the same about Nichijou.
I just want nothing to do with whatever you're talking about.
Rick and Morty. So.
Oh no!
That's worse.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't know what I was
This is
talking
one of
about.
those situations where I won't pick a evil.
Then I caught up to, actually, never mind. That's a longer one. I started watching part 5, or not part 5, part 6 of JoJo's.
All right.
The problem here is that I've already read part 6 of JoJo's, so I know what happens, but,
Yeah, it's nice to see an adaptation.
Yeah, and
I think it's great knowing what's going to happen,
Yeah. And there are some things that the part 6 adaptation got right. Like there's a character that I barely even remembered existing before he came up in the series. And he was kind of just a guy, or that's what he came off as in the manga. And in the show, they made him a lot more comedic. It worked out really well. He's very funny. So that's cool. Remember a while back when you said that you saw part 6 on Netflix and went, maybe my family should watch JoJo, and then went, actually no, it's the middle of the series, and just didn't.
I don't know what. No, at no point did I ever think that.
You told me about something similar.
You're making that up.
You told me about something similar that you saw JoJo while scrolling through Netflix.
I've seen JoJo while scrolling through Netflix, but at no point did I ever think that I should have my family watch it. Good God.
Either which way, good thing you didn't even fucking suggest it, because I forgot about this. Part 6 starts off with Jolene talking about masturbation.
Yeah,
Araki.
I know about that. I've heard about that. Come on now.
But yeah, I haven't gotten really deep into the series just yet, because it's fine. Like some of the Netflix stuff, like you can feel some of the Netflix things because it's edited a lot more like a Western show, which isn't like it's not really a quality statement. It's just a aesthetic statement, I guess. Like it doesn't really make the series better or worse that it's edited more like a Western show. It just makes it different.
Yeah.
Now, something that I can say is makes the series better or worse, at least to me, is they actually got someone to make a team for the series. Or well, yeah, whatever. And it just I don't think it works. Like it's not the Golden Wind. Or the Bloody Stream.
Yeah.
Like it's this like sort of like pop punkish kind of thing, and Jolene, I guess maybe, but like it's kind of a stretch. Like when I think of Jolene, I think more of gangster rap.
Yeah. Isn't that supposed to be the idea of season 6? Is that it's gangster rap themed?
Not exactly, but yeah, like there's a guy whose stand is like Snoop Dogg on one of his songs. I forget. There's a guy with Limp Bizkit.
Oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, like
that.
Yeah. Anything but Fred Durst. The best
Did you know he was in a WWE game and he had the highest overall in existence up until Roman Reigns in 2K23?
No, he
See,
didn't.
that's bull. Because
you had Golden AJ.
What?
That might be the dumbest argument I've seen in a while. How you and Ted were just on entirely different wavelengths there. Like, no, there's been a higher. Like, no. No, I'm specifically referring to SmackDown versus Raw. There's been higher, but SmackDown versus Raw. There's been higher. Shut up, both of you.
I did my research. I went and checked on the overalls in every WWE game from Here Comes the Pain all the way up to 2K22. There's never been a 99 overall. Ever.
Golden AJ.
What is Golden AJ?
He was a I don't know if he was unlockable or whatever, but he was like he was a character you could get in 2K19 for doing the online challenges. It was AJ Styles with 99 overall, and he was made of gold because whatever.
I've never heard of this, but that's the most disappointing thing I've heard all day, and sounds exactly like 2K.
Something Ribby.
What?
It was around the era of Ribby.
Ribby?
Yeah.
Ribby was 2K20, I want to say.
I think Ribby was in 2K16 even. No, I'm wrong.
Nope. Ribby was in 2K20. I know that because he was in the garbage Road to WrestleMania they did that year.
Yeah.
That featured the male and female.
Ribby's also in 2K22.
What?
Yeah,
Is he?
yeah. If you play the My Career or whatever the hell they called it, then one of the guys you can speak with him and he reveals that he's Ribby, but he dropped the gimmick because Lawler convinced him to.
How weird.
Yeah. So anyway, JoJo.
Yes, the JoJo's.
It's JoJo.
Hmm.
Then I caught up on Digimon Ghost Game. The series is about to end. I figured it was appropriate. That series had a lot of stuff going for it that I didn't expect for it to have.
Yes.
Also, I just like I really like the raising of stakes that's happening or that has been happening throughout the series. Where the first villain they fight is just, all right, we have to stop this guy who just freezes people. He doesn't kill them. He can't kill them. He's not strong enough. He freezes people. We have to fight him. And then in one of the later episodes that I've seen is just, okay, so here's Dagon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Beelzebub.
Yeah, just Cthulhu. Why not?
Heh.
And the best part is, they didn't they actually kept close to Cthulhu mythos. Dagon wasn't beaten. Dagon was hit once, and then he got teleported away, and that's how they beat him. Just put him on the back burner. He'll be back, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's also really funny going between the enemies around him even, because it's like, all right, so your enemies are a toad, like an oversized toad, looking for a ninja to ride to be a vigilante team with. You have fish, just fish.
Fish.
You have what else was it? You have a succubus, also Cthulhu.
Naturally.
Yeah. But that's like the series. I've been really enjoying this series. It's very, like, I've said this every time I bring it up. It's very reminiscent of Ghost Stories, the subbed version, the actual original script, not the dubbed version. And that's good for me because I really liked Ghost Stories. And I will keep saying this even after the series is over and Bandai decides, hey, remember how we didn't do a story for this series? Yeah, we're not gonna continue that. Like some people have a problem with the episodic nature of the series. I don't, because that's how Ghost Stories was. It was an episodic horror series. So is this. But both of them have an overarching narrative. They actually developed the overarching narrative for the most part in Ghost Stories. In this one, there were definitely parts where it kind of stagnated for more character-driven stuff, which was fine with me because I like these characters. But at the same time, the series has like 2, maybe 3 episodes left before it goes on hiatus, at least. And there's like 3 major plot developments that are supposed to happen in these 3 episodes. And I don't think, even if they do hit all 3, I don't think they will actually do them good. Because how do you do them good in like such a short time?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'll miss this series. It was fun. It also has a really good team. Then I watched Puss in Boots.
Excellent.
Do you all wish to discuss it?
It's a good movie, yo.
Yes. From what I've seen over on the internet, I thought Lobo would be featured more. But I liked how they used him. It's written it's written they licensed him out from DC though.
Lobo is the wolf?
Yeah, Lobo is deaf.
Ah.
And yeah, I didn't like the musical segments as much. They felt a bit out of place with the rest of the movie. But a lot of the movie just really felt like DreamWorks saw the animation style for the bad guys and went, okay, Battle Shonen. And then just
I haven't seen the bad guys, so I can't comment on that, but I did notice they pulled a lot of tricks from Into the Spider-Verse from 2018, I want to say. Well, it doesn't really matter when Into the Spider-Verse released, but there were a lot of animation similarities between those two. Where there are certain scenes where they don't favor a high frame rate in order to kind of get that more picturesque thing going.
Yeah, they started doing that with the bad guys. The entire movie pretty much was like that. So yeah, I really liked it in that movie because I thought it looked like, I thought it was very unique. It wasn't it wasn't Elimination, pretty much. But you know, it made the movie unique, and I thought they could improve on it still. Like, it was really good already, but you know, there's always improvement to be had.
Right.
With this one, they made it so it's only the fight sequences, which didn't always work, but it worked more than it didn't, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like,
yeah,
I found it very jarring in the opening scene, but after that opening scene, I grew accustomed to it, I suppose, and I thought it was very well done in the first scene with Lobo.
Yeah. I also liked Perito.
Perito's great.
Yeah. Like, you know, the entire movie had more, like, a couple of messages. I really liked Perito's message of, if you stick around long enough and are persistent enough, doesn't matter how fucking annoying you are, people will just say you're their friend. And I can prove this because I am this group's Perito.
Whoa.
But yeah, I like you said last week, I like all of these characters. Like the antagonist, like okay, Jiminy Cricket. Stole the show.
Yep. That was great. I loved everything they did with him.
Even the swerve with Jiminy. Well, it wasn't really a swerve, but it would. After a point, I thought they were just done with Jiminy, and then Jiminy came back, and that was also good.
With a vengeance.
Jiminy never ends.
Yeah. And I also liked how it connected to the main villain's backstory.
Yeah.
And then just also all of the stand-ups to other fairy tales that weren't featured in Shrek yet.
Yeah. Keyword.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember. Is DreamWorks owned by Disney yet?
Yeah, it's still the keyword. And as of yet, no, they're not.
Okay. Because I was about to say, or like if they are, because I didn't remember if they are we just gonna get actual Aladdin in Shrek? That would be a trip. Goldilocks being a country bumpkin. At least she was in the dub. I don't know if she's supposed to be originally, but Goldilocks just being a country bumpkin was great.
Yeah, I thought all those characters were handled very well.
And I also liked how they used the source material. So the basic gag with Goldilocks. Wow.
Goldilocks.
Yeah. Long gold. So yeah. I liked how the thing with Goldilocks was that she's never satisfied until the third try. Things just line up that way.
That does seem to be the case.
But yeah, good movie.
Oh yeah, 2 thumbs up.
I wish I had a third thumb so I could give it 3.
And then the end scene also, like, just being a big advertisement for the MCU, but still.
Yeah.
The SCU.
Yeah.
The Shrek cinematic universe.
Good God.
The cinematic universe nobody asked for, but now are clamoring for in every way.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a joke. I just remembered this. I literally watched Puss in Boots today, by the way. But yeah, but thinking about Shrek and stuff like that, I just remembered. Oh yeah, there's like this wordplay they do. Well, I don't know if I'd call it wordplay, but whatever that they do in the dub. That I actually don't know if and how they would do it in this or in the original release. But when Fiona meets Shrek for the first time, when he saves her from the dragon, Fiona just calls him S-Knight. because Shrek sounds really similar to S in Hungarian.
Nice.
So she mishears Shrek saying his name.
Sometimes having a very liberal translator really pays off.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's also a thing of, like, regardless of how liberal the translation is, well, what you really want out of translation is a sense of truthness or whatever, like to the presentation itself. Because, like, if something is translated critically, then people just won't understand.
Yeah.
You have to consider the difference in culture as well. Which reminds me of the guy who quit. There was this thing where a translator quit his job recently because of a manga that centered around Japanese puns.
Oh, good God.
Yeah. Can't blame him.
Yeah.
So yeah. So there's Puss in
That's just
Boots.
one of the
Yeah.
ones like, who the fuck commissioned this to be translated?
I mean, the thing is, like, there's probably actual interest, because there has been, but they quit after, like, I wanna say 5 volumes translated, which is 5 too many.
Eh.
That's like working up for and 15 other manga they could have been translating instead.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm also enjoying something right now as we speak. But that's
no.
it. That's my week.
All right. Let's see. For my week, let's first hit something that isn't wrestling. What have I done that isn't wrestling? Last of Us keeps rocking on. It is still one of the most faithful video game adaptations there's ever been. They made some slight changes to the way that the zombies work, but that is really about it. I am still enjoying that quite a bit. Let's see. We've now hit the point. Addy, you played through Last of Us, right?
I watched the playthrough. Well, go ahead.
We've now hit the point, which, spoilers for people who haven't played the Last of Us video game.
Oh.
We've now hit the point where they go to the hospital and Joel falls on a piece of rebar and gets impaled.
Ah.
What an idiot. Who does that?
And Addy, you're aware.
Guys who get their head bashed in by a golf tee, or whatever it's called. Iron?
So they kind of have to write around the fact that a lot of The Last of Us is shooting people in the face. And there's only so much you can do of that in a TV show before it gets boring. Hell, there's only so much of that you can do in a video game before it gets boring. And one would argue that The Last of Us crosses that at a few points.
Yep.
Nonetheless, they did make a change there. In this one, rather than getting pushed off a ledge by a goon onto a piece of rebar, it is one of the goons runs up and swings with a baseball bat, misses Joel, smashes the baseball bat on a tree so it turns into splinters, and then Joel stabs him to death. But then after he does so, Ellie points at Joel's chest, and the guy during the stabbing, had in return stuck the end of the broken in half baseball bat into Joel. Which is still pretty brutal. Credit where credit is due. But it has been really, outside of them having to add extra stuff onto the plot to cover for the shooting, the lack of combat, because, and the decision to change the Bill story a lot. They did change Bill's story massively.
Who was Bill?
Science guy.
Exactly. No. They made Bill and Frank's relationship a lot happier and made Bill less of a grim and depressing person.
So you don't find you don't find him anymore.
Bill and Frank have a very happy relationship in the show, and it ends very differently between them. And Bill's just generally less of a dick. Which, Addy,
not my Bill.
Is a bit of a difference from the way things go down in the game.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we are now hitting the meaty part of the plot. Because, Addy, you're aware of this. Once Joel gets put through once the rebar goes through Joel, the Last of Us plot hits where it actually should be going. You know?
Yeah.
This is when the shit gets heavy. Though they did a good job with Sam and Henry. Oh boy. That's one, like, Sam and Henry in the game are a little bit annoying, but what happens to them still hits, because it's like, oh, that was fucking ugly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the show, it's much worse, because they actually get a lot more screen time and a lot more dialogue that isn't just Joel being kind of untrusting of them. A very good video game adaptation that will hopefully teach people in the entertainment industry that when you're adapting things, it's good to be accurate.
No, it won't.
Nonsense.
The lead actors had to sneak fucking sessions in.
You are actually, to my understanding, correct. Pedro Pascal says he was told not to play the Last of Us game and did anyways. Which makes no sense to me. Because then otherwise, why is it so accurate to the game otherwise? Because like visually, it's a perfect imitation visually.
Well, I think the thing here is that they wanted the actual story to be accurate, but they wanted Pascal to bring his own interpretation, and his own interpretation was, I want you to take notes from the actual game's interpretation.
Yeah.
So
I have to imagine Ellie's actress played the game too, because she's again a perfect imitation of Ellie in the games.
Yeah.
I have noticed one thing with Pedro Pascal is that after the very first episode that's pre-apocalypse, his accent is a lot stronger, but the Texan accent kind of drops off after Sarah's death. I do think that's a bit odd. I guess it makes sense that Joel spent a lot of time living up north, so maybe his accent would soften a bit, but it's unusual going from the game where Joel's just thick, hard Texan all game long, boy, and then here he isn't, you know?
The trauma made Joel stop being Texan.
Yeah. It made him small. They say everything's big in Texas. Well, Joel can't be in Texas anymore.
Yeah.
They say you can take the boy out of Texas, but you can't take the Texas out of the boy. They were wrong. Anyways. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I feel like I watched a movie recently, but... Did I? No, I talked about Wakanda Forever a couple weeks ago. Okay, that's the only movie I can recall having watched.
Oh
recently.
shit, I just remembered another movie I watched.
Well, go ahead and shoot.
Alright, Magic Mike. His Last Dance.
Oh.
Was it his last dance?
Allegedly.
Did they kill him off in the end?
No. Verse.
Then it wasn't his last. Oh, worse.
He got married.
Worse to death. He got buried.
Married.
Like Kevin Nash, of all
Married.
people?
Married.
Oh,
to
married.
Kevin Nash.
To Kevin Nash?
No,
good,
I wish.
Good movie. Oh.
No, he got married to Salma Hayek. No, it's...
Fair enough.
Oh.
Fair enough. I understand, Magic Mike, sir.
How do I become a male stripper?
Salma Hayek was great because we didn't recognize her until it was the credits, and then the credits told us it was her.
Nice. What? Hang on.
Yeah.
So there's that movie, but there's also that Don Juan movie that came out like I don't know, a few years ago. Well, it's probably like closer to 10 years ago now. And that movie is also about a young guy who is obsessed with sex and is built around being a ladies' man. And the resolution of that movie is, this isn't a healthy lifestyle. If you want to be a real man, marry a MILF. Why? So Magic Mike reached the same conclusion?
Well, no, Magic Mike doesn't actually doesn't actually marry Salma Hayek. They just get together and become a thing, so that they can still make other Last Dance if they feel like it. But yeah, the entire thing of the entire like conclusion of the movie, and actually like Mike's conclusion before the movie begins is, I don't want to strip. It's not healthy. I want to work any other job. But stripping is literally the only way I can actually pay my bills.
Ah, the sex industry.
Yeah. And then just the conflict of that he's trying to use Salma Hayek for money so he can pay his bills. But then they fall in love. Oh no. And then
So
Kevin,
he goes from male stripper to male prostitute.
yes. Well, no, because Salma Hayek pays him not to fuck her.
Oh, what?
Yes.
I'm not sure how that works.
She says that would be too easy. He has to actually work for it. Or she, whatever. She says he actually has to work for it.
Rich people are weird, man.
I'm
Yeah.
just confused right now.
So what happens in the movie is she brings Channing Tatum to London so that they can
Disgusting.
so that she can stick it to her in the process of being an ex-husband, I guess, and put and make turn one of his theaters into a strip club. So what they do is they import people from all around the world, namely Italy, and also the streets of London.
Disgusting.
And do and do the whole stripping thing, and then she loses all of her money because it was a clause that the husband's mother put in.
Where are they finding attractive strippers in London? That's what I want to know.
On the streets, allegedly.
I don't believe that for a second.
What are you saying, W?
I said it's just Jason Statham.
Could be.
The dancing is generally the like selling. Well, okay, the selling point. No, the selling point is looking at Channing Tatum in his briefs, probably. But
Man, for a second, I thought you were gonna say Channing Tatum.
But yeah, like, but you know, the idea is that the selling point would be the dancing, because you know, it's a series about striptease. A part of striptease is dancing, and the dances were choreographed, very boring. Like you're not gonna pay people for this performance, or you will, but you will be disappointed. I liked the scenes, like the part where Magic Mike tells one of the guys he's training how to be a stripper. Because by the way, the people that they hired off of the street weren't actually strippers, but yeah. So while he's training the people to strip, he's like, don't just fuck on the woman. You need to actually, like, you know, dance. And then proceeds to have a dance scene at the end of the movie that is literally just that. It's just a sex scene within clothes.
Nice.
Like it's right to hell. Retribution.
My God.
Yeah. Like I don't remember how the sex scenes were in that game, but it's like it's a sex scene from right to hell with super cut with scenes earlier from the movie, and then that's it. That's the big finale. Oh. I remember liking one scene, where they actually had some interesting like group choreography for the people that Mike hired off of the street. But in that, the editing ruined the parts that were in the movie, and then the actual like scene cuts off before the actual dancing begins. Because like they do the setup for the dancing scene that you would see in older movies. And once again, once the actual like big dancing scene would break out in those movies, we just cut, and it's later in the day.
Yeah.
And like I know that just purely dancing movies don't sell, but as someone who grew up having to watch things like Step Up, and pretty much whatever cheerleading movies that you can think of. Like, I you know, I look at this and I go, this is boring. Like, you didn't put your heart into actually, like, trying to make any choreography work. It looks fine. The people who they got to do the dancing did the dancing fine. But the choreography itself was just not particularly engaging. And, you know, like, if I want to look at shirtless men who aren't my type, then there's easier ways to find it than pay the admission for a movie. So yeah, it's all right. It's mediocre. It's what you expect. Kevin Nash was in it, so it was good.
That's all you need, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Believe he was one of the lowest drawing champions in history. That's messed up.
In the worst year in wrestling history altogether.
That's messed up.
And you know why it was the worst year? Because of Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
He made sure.
Now that's messed up.
But yeah, so now we'll continue with your week then. Now that I'm done interrupting you.
Oh boy. Let's see. I played a bunch of Mortal Kombat 11. I completed a bunch of character tower stuff for Melina, and I have unlocked almost all of her things. I'm kind of thinking about just saying fuck it and going back in and dedicating myself to unlocking everything for Melina. For the funnies. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's a game where you work for a thing. I'm finding that all the good shit is just in the character towers.
Yeah, and then you don't like the good shit is in the character towers, but at the same time you don't want to put too much time into the character towers because then you're missing out on like money to buy the character towers.
Yeah. Also, this is going to be the dumbest revelation of all time. Mortal Kombat 11 is a lot more fun when you don't have the AI play it. And you just play it yourself. And anytime the game throws at you a stupid matchup where it's like, the floor is electric, and also the sky is on fire, and also every now and then God himself steps in and pokes you and it does 30 damage. Like, whenever the game throws something at you, at you, continue to play, just use the stupid consumable thing that you get 1,000,000 of, that just restore your entire health bar instantly because fuck the opponent.
That's the thing, I didn't get 1,000,000 of those, so eventually I had
don't
to...
remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I got all those. Might be the crypt. I don't know.
Might be the crypt. It might be like a deluxe edition pre-order thing.
No,
it
not
wouldn't
that.
be. Yeah, it might still be a pre-order thing.
I didn't pre-order.
Ah, how do you have Shao Kahn? Did you buy him?
Day one.
Ah,
Day one of it. Never mind the fact that I actually got it.
for Switch. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I got it on Switch and then brought it back and got a copy on PlayStation. I must have paid for Shao Kahn on PlayStation, unless it was like one of those things where, like, 4 months later you find a day one copy and it's like, oh, well, fuck me then.
Not only that, but you find a day one copy with an unused code.
Well, I mean, like at Target or whatever. Anyways, yes, that game is more enjoyable when you actually play it. Inconceivable. I have also been getting my mojo back in Total War Warhammer.
Nice.
Yeah, I have been dumping myself. I first did a Grimgore campaign, a Greenskin campaign, Orc campaign up in the mountains of basically Asia. Kind of Central Asia. And I was having a grand old time raising and sacking and pillaging the countryside. And it hit a certain point, though, where I realized I had crossed. I started way in the northern tip of Asia. And I realized I was somewhere halfway down Asia. And I looked backwards, and I had left a trail behind of 6 or 7 ruined cities that had then been reoccupied by satanic Vikings. So I couldn't go backwards without trespassing on their territory. And because I was just pillaging and burning down everything, I wasn't really having any friendly territory nearby. My starter city was way up north. And I looked back and I was kind of like, well, shit. And it wasn't a terrible army to be stuck in enemy territory with, but I kind of realized, like, oh, I've kind of given up entirely on the possibility of expanding here. So it's kind of a funny thing where, like, I was going on a really good hot streak where I had just entirely isolated myself and actually stopped myself from expanding any further. Especially because I was just concentrating all of my money into, like, 2 or 3 cities. And the Greenskins have really cheap but not so great cities, so you shouldn't be doing that. You should be making lots of cities rather than 1 or 2 or 3 really good ones. Whoopsie fucking doodles. And by the time I realized that going backwards would require me to make even more war on a bunch of people and result in a lot of people invading my cities, I decided, I'm just going to cut this playthrough. I'll come back later with a smarter strategy than this. And now I am playing Khorne, the Demons of Khorne, Blood for the Blood God. Very similar idea. I'm in basically the Middle East. And unlike the Greenskins, they actually are built for that. I don't want to venture too far from home, because at a certain point that's just dangerous for anybody. But unlike the Greenskins, Khorne really can only maintain so many cities at a time. His buildings are really fucking expensive, and they don't give huge rewards. To make up for the fact that his armies are very, very strong and capable of doing a lot of work on their own without support. But I'm having a lot of fun just rampaging around the Middle East and Northern Africa, burning down cities and killing innocents and praising the blood god and pumping all that money back into the, like, 3 cities, which are now up to, like, I don't know, 6 cities, so that they will be great at some point and be able to fuel a more rapid expansion. The Khorne campaign, it seems very well built for that, where you're going to spend a lot of the early game and even mid-game struggling trying to get as much work out of one army as possible, though playing Khorne, you can get a lot of work out of one army, not too difficultly. But once you get into the late game and you have set up those cities so that they don't suck anymore and they can actually support a wider military, then the snowball kicks in and you can rampage across the known world. But you have to put the work in to get the reward. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Having a grand old time with that. Okay, now it's time for the big one. The podcast extender. So, Elimination Chamber 2023 was this week. Actually, it was kind of last week, but it was the night of the podcast, so you can't really talk about it because it won't happen for another few hours.
Yeah.
Pink, are you awake?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so, do we want to do this match by match?
Yeah, let's do it that way so we can open up a wiki article and not
I'm doing it now.
Bounce back and forth. Yeah.
Elimination Chamber 2023 Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia, for providing the match card for us. Okay.
Shout out to Wikipedia.
The first match was the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Carmella, Liv Morgan, Natalya, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, and Asuka.
That was fun.
Yeah, I thought this one was a winner.
Yeah.
I thought they actually it was booked great because it played to everyone involved's strengths.
Yeah.
It was the rare women's match where Natalya wasn't just getting shit on, where Natalya actually looked like she was a serious competitor.
Right.
Nikki was, honestly, I would have told you Carmella seemed like she would be the weak spot of the match, but no, Nikki Cross was.
Oh, really?
I would say so. The crazy gimmick, the wacky crazy gimmick only goes so far.
You're not wrong there.
But, like, looking around here, Carmella played into the chicken shit heel perfectly. She just stayed out and tried to sneak in for pins and kept running away from the faces.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan, plucky underdog babyface that never dies. Liv Morgan is quickly trying to become a female Mick Foley, isn't she?
Live for pain.
Yeah. Which in this match worked. There are some times where she does that and it doesn't really work. This match it worked.
Yeah.
Asuka is still, the stiff shooter Japanese killer, which I don't think she could probably actually shoot, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
The highlight of the women's chamber match, though, was Raquel. I thought they did a great job putting Raquel over as a beast.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Asuka and Carmella, the face and the heel, both needed to team up to kill her, right?
Yeah.
Which, of course, was such a good spot they did it again in the men's match. But multiply that by, 4.
Yep.
That many people
I
were
don't
here to
know.
kill Logan Paul.
No, we'll get to Logan Paul when we get there. I thought it was a funny contrast. The women's chamber match just had less crazy high spots than the men's chamber match did. It just seemed more solidly built on fundamentals. Let's not go out there and kill each other.
Right. Yeah.
And I thought it was great for it.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
I quite enjoyed it. I concur with like just about everything you said. I didn't think Nikki Cross was a weak spot, but I'm also a massive mark for Nikki Cross. So if she was, I wouldn't have noticed it because I'm biased. To me, I didn't really feel like there was a weak spot in the match because I thought it was just so well done and well booked, and everyone executed their roles with excellence, one could say. Yeah. And it was a very, very good match to start the night off with. Was very happy and not surprised whatsoever with the results. I was a little bit sad that Raquel's still being held back because at this point I feel like they're never gonna actually strike the iron, and the iron isn't even hot for her right now or anything. But I feel like they've kind of got Raquel sitting in the back like, okay, one day she'll be ready for this. One day we're gonna push her. One day we're gonna give her a championship run. But it feels like that day is never actually gonna happen. It feels like they're gonna keep her on the back burner.
I like Raquel.
Until too late.
I like Raquel, but the girl's got no personality.
Because they're having her go out there and do nothing but smiling. It's dumb.
Well, maybe she should tell the fucking bookers, give me something else.
Maybe.
Like, I agree that she'd be better off just going back to stern-faced, tough bitch, and that this smile gimmick doesn't work. But beyond that, she herself doesn't have a whole lot of personality either, it seems.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, she's married to Braun, so how much personality can you have? But...
That is true.
By the way, shout out to Liv taking the Steve Austin way out of the submission there. I didn't tap, I just passed out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is Liv's new gimmick that she won't fucking tap?
Yeah.
Because that was how it was.
I'm telling you all, Liv's new gimmick is that she gets stronger with pain. Well, not really stronger. Not immediately, but over time, she'll become a true force to be reckoned with.
This new gimmick is that she's eating the souls of legends. She
is a glutton for punishment. But not in a kinky way. That'd be wrong.
Liv's new gimmick is having eaten the souls of hardcore legends. Like Mick Foley and Terry Funk.
None of those guys are dead yet.
Exactly.
So that's why she's still in the mid-card.
Yes.
That explains a lot.
And then we've got Lashley versus Lesnar.
This match lasted, 5 minutes?
Let me see. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Wow. This was the standard Lashley-Lesnar affair. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. There's not a lot more to it.
It was a bad instance of what Lesnar can do some days of just, well, ordinarily I have a moveset of 3 moves. Today I'm refining it just down to 1. I hope y'all are ready to see some F5s today.
Mm-hmm.
It was finisher spam, finisher spam, finisher spam.
Yep.
Both were playing WWE 13, and both of us have set ourselves to infinite finishers.
Yep.
They continue the thing of, implying that Lesnar may be outpaced by Lashley in his old age, but is Lashley really that much younger than Lesnar?
Probably not. But
Lashley's older. Lashley's a year older than Lesnar.
Oh my goodness. But in canon, though, Lashley's still the plucky underdog because he came after Lesnar.
I guess so, yeah, and he's not got the established
It's the Batista Triple H situation all over again.
Yeah.
In canon, Lashley is younger because black don't crack.
This is true.
That is the only reason.
Oh boy, yeah, it was. I mean, the big part of this match was also whoever wins this match loses, because whoever wins this match has to go against Bray.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. Kind of a nothing match, yeah.
Yeah, it ends in disqualification. I don't even remember who caused the disqualification or why. I think it
Lesnar.
was Lesnar hitting a low blow while he was stuck in the Hurt Lock.
Yeah.
But beyond that, so I guess technically Lesnar, pardon me, I guess technically Lashley has won the honor of jobbing out to Bray.
Yeah.
This man's career, it has some serious ups and downs.
Lashley or Bray?
Yes.
At this point, both.
Jesus. All right. Edge and Beth versus Balor and Rhea.
This went a direction I was not anticipating.
I was expecting Beth to job before Rhea's WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I thought Beth was gonna put Rhea over so that Rhea could have that going into Mania, but I guess they were deciding to kind of look into wrapping up Judgment Day pretty quickly here. I don't know if they're gonna have a Mania match with Edge and Balor or what's going on there, but
we all know that the Judgment Day at this point is Rhea, Dominic, and the two other goobers.
Right.
Which is a waste of Damian Priest.
Right.
Balor's
a designated driver, so that's understandable, but we're still not sure, like, who's blackmailing him.
Balor is one of those guys. Maybe send him back down to NXT to fuck with the young guys for a little bit or something.
Again.
Yeah. Like, Balor, I just don't get it. I can see where in Japan he was the ultimate heel, because look at this fucking Irish guy shitting on our Japanese honor or whatever. But, like, in the States, he's just... I mean, like, he's not lost on the mic, but he's got no fucking gimmick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually kind of funny. Balor, several months ago, had a botch on the mic, and he recovered perfectly. And then Damian had that fucking slop show a couple weeks ago.
I haven't seen his promo yet, but feels bad, man.
Yeah, I'm not like Ted, where it's like, he botched the promo that badly, kill him. Get the fucking sniper to the rafters. Blow his head up right here in front of the audience to make a fucking display. If we don't kill Damian Priest right now, I'm walking to fucking Triple H's office.
And shitting in his bag.
I will shed tears as I stab him in the heart. I will tell him, I used to love you, man. You made me do this. You did this. Anyways, yeah, it's just... Part of the thing also split in the stable, though, is like, okay, but whose spot on either of the shows do we want Damian taking, right?
Right.
When they're at the stable, they can all take up the same amount of TV time, and it's not much. But Triple H has got to start sacking some of these guys he brought back that suck.
Right.
I don't... It feels so callous to say, just fire the guy. But again, Hit Row, I don't know about Ashante. B-Fab she's good looking, so she can find work just about anywhere in the entertainment business by that. But, like, Top Dollar will find work somewhere. He's an ambitious fucking guy. At the very least, he can make a lot of money on the shoot circuit talking about how WWE is evil. Get rid of Hit Row. They shouldn't be taking TV time.
Yep.
Like, first, none of them are good performers. Like, B-Fab's the one I got the most hope for because I've seen the least from her. And if we're talking gimmicks, if it's like, well, it's black representation, the Street Profits have the same fucking gimmick.
Yeah.
The Street Profits may not rap, but they are clearly supposed to be the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
And it's the same fucking gimmick that every blackface in WWE gets, unless they're just straight up minstrel clown show like New Day.
Right.
Or whatever's R-Truth doing anymore.
R-Truth is currently injured. Who hurt Truth?
Uh, one of the NXT guys. I think it was JD McDonough.
Ah, that makes sense. Someone probably should have told JD, hey, truth's old, don't just tee off on him like you tee off on the other guys. And then JD would have went, what? You telling me I don't backdrop drive him on his neck? No, JD, no. Get inside. That's it. I guess that's the issue with bringing up so many of these stiff young bastards from Europe. Like, anytime Gunther has to go against someone who I don't expect to be used to Gunther's style. Like, that's one thing about everybody saying, like, oh, Gunther versus Lesnar, what a matchup. I think, like, okay, if Lesnar knows what he's getting into, yes, that would be a fun match. If Lesnar didn't know going in, my God, Gunther would tee off on Lesnar once, and then Lesnar would just kill him.
Yeah.
Like, it would just be, it would honest to God just be, Gunther throws one stiff slap, and then you just hear from somewhere Shao Kahn saying, finish him!
Brock just starts doing the Bob Holly's power bombs, but more of them.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep down the fatality path. I was thinking the Quan Chi neck stretch.
Nah. But why would I go for a Quan Chi thing when Brock just has just done similar things anyway?
Hang on just a sec. Okay, I need to find it. Is there a gif of Quan Chi's fatality from Mortal Kombat 4? I have not found it. Okay, joke ruined. Anyways, so yeah, that's what were we talking about? Right, Beth Phoenix and Edge versus Judgment Day. Yeah, this is the kind of situation where they just wanted Edge to go over. I have to assume they want Edge to do something at WrestleMania because, I mean, he's Edge. You know, a little bit of a star.
Yeah.
The match itself, it was a solid match. Nothing remarkable, but a solid mixed tag match.
Yeah. Like, better than most mixed tag matches, I imagine.
What about them using the Shatter Machine at the end?
That was a great, I don't know if it's a call up, call back, I'm not sure what you would call it, but unique homage, because Dash Wilder is in the business because of Edge. So I guess it's a nod to him.
Huh, I didn't know that. What's the story there?
Dash Wilder was a regular at Edge's gym. And I'm trying to not butcher the story, but I don't remember all the finer details. But if I'm not mistaken, and I hope I'm referring to the right, yeah, Dash is one that I'm thinking of, not Scott. But Dash Wilder was a regular at Edge's gym. He was never one to bug Edge about the wrestling business. And somebody else at the gym knew that Dash was trying to break into the business, knew that Edge was part of the business, and so kind of linked the two up, I guess you could say. Huh. And so, yeah, a big part of why Dash is wrestling today is because of Edge.
All right. That's interesting to know.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really anything else super remarkable about the match, was there?
Not really. It's very standard affair.
All right, the men's chamber. Austin Theory, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, Montez Ford, and Seth Rollins. So, high spots, huh?
High spots as far as the eye can see.
Johnny Gargano and Montez Ford in a race to see who can kill themselves faster. So, that Montez spot. So, here's the thing. This is the first Elimination Chamber match I've ever actually seen. So, when I saw that Montez spot, I was like, holy shit, oh my God. And then, like, an hour later that night, I saw on Twitter someone bring up, "Oh, this was just like that Lince Dorado spot." And I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, well, Lince Dorado spot's fucking stupid because he just kind of blew out of the water anything else anyone else was ever going to do, climbing on the ceiling." Like, okay, yeah, it's cool that you did a crossbody from the ceiling, Montez, but you didn't do a shooting star press, you fucking dork. Huh?
What a loser. What kind of nerd climbs a cage and doesn't do a shooting star press off of it? Come on now.
Addy, just to fill it in, it was on Montez Ford had a spot where he climbed up the wall of the chamber, and you can't really get on the roof, so he was dangling from the ceiling, and then kind of did like a backspin into a crossbody to everyone else in the match, right?
Yeah.
While Lindsay a few years ago did kind of like he was hanging from the ceiling, and he kind of did that seesaw back and forth motion, and then let go and did a shooting star press on everyone else in the match. Both crazy spots, yes. Okay, which spot was spookier? The one where Gargano did a Hurricane Rana to Rollins on the top of the pod, or the weird, fucked up Doomsday Device Poison Rana combo?
Poison Rana combo.
Because that one, honest to God, it was like you could see for a second. Johnny Gargano dies, wrap the match up, file everyone else out, announce we're going to do the rest of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view later. Like, you can just see in front of your eyes, Owen Hart!
Uh-huh.
They had a spot, Eddie, where Bronson Reed picks up Johnny Gargano on his shoulders in the ring. Seth, who was outside the ring, springboards in, lariats Gargano. Gargano does a backflip like he's going to get Doomsday Deviced, but he actually holds on to Bronson with his legs, causing Bronson to then get Poison Rana'd, which is dangerous enough already, because Bronson is a, like, 400 pounds, 5 foot nothing squat tub of lard who is just pure fat. Like, we're not talking Otis, where Otis, you can tell there's a lot of muscle beneath the fat. Bronson's more or less just pure lard. So that's dangerous enough, asking a guy who is nothing but fat to take a Poison Rana. But on top of that, because Gargano had to start the move from such an awkward position of getting lariated from an electric chair position for all intents and purposes, he falls backwards awkwardly, and his head comes within a, like, inch of contact with the mat and getting his fucking neck compressed by the sheer weight of Bronson.
Ah, nice.
He just barely saves it. Holy Jesus, yeah, that was rough.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, solid match, but it wasn't like the women's match where it seemed like everybody stuck out.
Yeah.
The men's match, it kind of seemed like Theory, Priest, and Gargano a little bit all kind of faded into the background.
Yeah, to me, everyone blended in. There wasn't really a standout. Montez had a great ring jacket. That, to me, was a standout of the match. But outside of that, it's like Gargano and Rollins took a lot of spots and delivered a lot of spots. Priest had a couple moments. Bronson didn't go through a pod like I expected him to, because somebody had already gone through a pod earlier in the night, and they robbed him of his only use. So that was something. Yeah. I wasn't as high on the men's Elimination Chamber as I was on the women's. And again, go ahead.
Shout out to the spot, though, where it's Rollins and Gargano start off. They're both faces. You know, Rollins is a bit of an ass, but he's still supposed to be a face right now.
Right.
And the third one to enter is Theory, who then tries to shut himself back in the pod.
Right.
And then Rollins and Gargano get in the pod with him. They shut it, and then just spend like a straight minute just putting the boots to it.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Also, the attempt to put Bronson over as a monster in the same way as Raquel, but I think that Asuka and Carmella both jackknife pinning Raquel at the same time was more of a distinctive image of they need to do this to put her down than just the generic kind of image of everybody do your finishes on Bronson.
Yeah.
Because it honestly kind of was. I don't think Damian got his finish in, and I'm not sure about Theory, but Gargano, Rollins, and Montez all hit him with their finishes at the same time. Or, well, excuse me, in sequence. They didn't do it at the same time, because my God.
Not simultaneously. That would be impossible. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, how could you combine Frog Splash, Slingshot DDT, and Curb Stomp? Good question. Man, how come Conan ain't giving Montez Ford heat? Like, it's unacceptable for a Japanese guy to do the frog splash, but a black guy does it. Oh boy.
He's Mexican enough.
Well, Montez was doing it in honor of Rob Van Dam, not Eddie Guerrero.
And RVD. Yeah. RVD smoked enough pot, he became honorary Mexican.
Yeah.
And like Tommy Chong.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, it was a solid chamber match, but it was definitely more high spot reliant.
Mm-hmm.
And then the match.
Once Theory won, he retained, which I don't like. Not because he's champion, because the champion retained in Elimination Chamber again for the 9th year in a row.
I thought they did that in a satisfying way this time, though, where it was made clear Theory wasn't going to win until...
Yeah, I actually liked the finish of the match because it was a very desperate finish to save his championship rather than a definitive one like Daniel Bryan had several years back, or Sheamus had several years back, or John Cena had several years back, or Triple H had several years back, or you get where I'm going with this.
Yeah. And I thought it was a good explanation for how someone could interfere in what was otherwise supposed to be an uninterferable match.
Yeah.
Because, Addy, you probably heard that Logan Paul got in the chamber and did the buckshot. Yeah, the buckshot lariat to Rollins, which apparently is now just Logan's finish. Fuck it.
I wonder why Logan Paul calls this maneuver the buckshot lariat. Is he
if
really
Logan Paul calls
that
it
well
anything,
versed in
it probably...
buckshot?
The funny thing is, if Logan Paul calls it anything, then the majority of people will probably start calling it whatever Logan Paul calls it instead of the buckshot.
Yeah.
Not only because AEW is for marks, but also because whatever Logan Paul calls it is what it's going to be called in the games.
This is true. So
And
get on that, Logan Paul. Make history.
It's the band in Japan.
The band in Japan. Oh boy. But yeah, Addy, did you see the setup, though, to Logan Paul getting into the chamber?
No.
Montez took a curb stomp while he was propped up on the ropes, and they kayfabed it as Montez got legit hurt. Like, the ref made the X symbol, the whole deal. An army of refs and paramedics came out and opened up the chamber wall to get in there and drag Montez out. They had to drag his ass out slowly, and it was during that Logan Paul snuck in.
Ah.
Thought it was neat.
If Montez Ford had not been injured in that match, Logan Paul would have just straight up phased through the Elimination Chamber to take out Rollins. We know this to be a fact.
He would have figured out a way to buckshot through the wall of the cage.
Precisely.
If there's anyone that would be stupid and suicidal enough to do it, it'd be him.
Probably.
Alright. And the last match on the card, to discuss, Roman versus Sammy.
And gentlemen, the main event.
And it was kind of just Roman's usual match.
It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a good match.
It was the match.
Was the match.
Like, I feel like Roman's only ever actually looked somewhat strong against Riddle like a year ago and Logan Paul like 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Thought you were gonna say that Roman's only ever had one match.
Like, It was the kind of match where Sammy just took his tights down and took a steaming dump on Roman's chest. And then they just kept cheating until eventually Roman won. And they had to cheat like 3 or 4 times to do it. And Roman's had that match how many times in the last year?
All the times. Except maybe twice.
Jesus. But this is one of those matches where the actual match itself was kind of inconsequential. It was the finish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was the dustiest finish ever.
This is where they screwed up. The only part where it really matters, and they screwed it up.
Like, it could not get dustier. So credit where credit is due. I'm still smoking the copium, or huffing the copium, or whatever it's supposed to be. That, okay, Sammy versus Roman at WrestleMania, right?
I mean, it could have been a dustier finish. Just send that Cody in polka dots.
He's shucking and jiving the whole way down.
On our dusty roads, daddy.
Oh, boy. The issue was that they had the dusty finish, which is what everyone should have expected. If they're going to have Sammy pick up the world belt, then he shouldn't win it at Elimination Chamber. Even though it's great to get it in front of a hometown, it's more important to have the big moment at WrestleMania, right?
Right. We can't end this historic reign at a random-ass pay-per-view before the biggest show of them all.
Yeah. However, the part where they fucked up was, and I love Kevin Owens, I love him, I've loved him since he was Kevin Steen, the part they fucked up was when Kevin Owens came in.
Oh, yeah. The final run-in, to me, straight up was just awkward to watch.
Yes.
It wasn't even bad. It was just awkward.
I mean, as run-ins go, it was a fine run-in, but storyline-wise, this is like not just the moment where Sammy is the underdog, the moment where Sammy gets out from underneath the boot heel of Roman, the moment where Sammy, the ultimate underdog, faces the most dominant champion in 40 years. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is also the moment where Sammy finally gets out from Kevin's coattails.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, a year ago, the talk was, oh, Sami Zayn got a big contract just because Kevin Owens demanded it or else he'd go to AEW. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And I was pointing it out going into the match with my family, like, holy shit, remember when Sammy was thought of as just the guy that they only employ so they can keep Kevin around? And, like, this was, like, it was so much of just this on all fronts. And then Kevin, it just kind of seemed like it was Triple H saying, actually, I like Kevin better. I want to transfer the heat to Kevin. No.
Right.
Vince tried that a million times, and how many times did it work? Let's think honestly.
Well,
how many times in wrestling history has heat successfully been transferred from one wrestler to another?
Well,
here comes the big show.
Patty?
I don't know.
I'm struggling here.
I cannot think of a single moment in time where that was ever successful. I'm sure there must be at least one instance, but I cannot think of it.
Yeah.
I mean, oh shit, now I'm really stuck for it. There's gotta be one.
Zack Ryder Johnson and Kane.
It's like the one that springs to mind for me. Everybody remembers when they first started watching wrestling with a certain degree of like, oh yeah, this is the classic stuff that when I think about anything in wrestling, I think of the equivalent from this time period.
Evolution, baby.
So for you, yeah, it's Evolution. Addy, I don't know when you started watching.
I started watching the first feud I saw. Literally, the first feud that I saw was Del Rio against Mysterio. Well, Del Rio against Mysterio, by which I mean Del Rio against John Cena. Mysterio was also here some time ago.
So that was probably a little bit after I started watching, I think. Because I started watching early 2011, after WrestleMania 27. So when I think of trying to transfer heat, do you know what I think of?
What?
I think of Zack Ryder getting teamed up with John Cena in late 2011, early 2012.
That was the only example I could think of either.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it did not fucking work. But it was 100% Vince wanted this heat off of Zack because Zack wasn't the guy and was never going to be the guy, and he was never, Vince's idea of a guy. And Zack, God bless him, he's a goof. And he wanted the heat off of Zack and onto Cena. So he teamed them up, had Cena talk about how great of a guy Zack is to try and put over how humble Cena is, and had Kane and Eve Torres just bury the fuck out of Zack. And it didn't work. It didn't make John any more likable. It made John seem like he was an asshole trying to latch onto Zack's popularity and take some of it for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a historical example, like maybe TA Magnum, you could say, was able to get some heat off of Dusty and like fucking Southern Wrestling in the mid 80s. But even then, to my understanding, TA Magnum was one of those guys who was going to get over no matter what anyway. And then, of course, he had the crash.
Right.
That an end.
Womp womp.
I'm struggling here. Like a heel can do it by fucking up a babyface. Vader's career was built by him squashing Antonio Inoki. And a babyface maybe can steal heat off a heel by being the one who topples him. But usually, if it's not a face that the fans are already behind, it feels like, oh, this is bullshit. I wanted this guy to be the one who beats the heel, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what Cody's going to run into.
Yep.
They're going to try and transfer Roman's heat to Cody, and it isn't going to work. Like, it's so weird to say because I love Cody. Well, it's not weird to say. I love Cody, and this is part of why I don't want it to happen. The best thing for any of these guys is either Sammy gets added to the match and it becomes a triple threat and Sammy wins, or Roman cucks Cody and Roman keeps going for a little bit. But if Cody wins in any circumstance here at WrestleMania, then it's going to kill Cody.
Right.
And me as a Cody fan, I don't want that.
Right.
Oh, man. So, yeah, supposedly, apparently, some of the house shows are currently advertising Sammy versus Roman. So, copium engage.
Right. Testing the waters there, one could suppose.
One could hope. The question will be, is Illinois as over on Sami Zayn as the rest of the country? Because Illinois is dangerously close to we don't give a shit about wrestling country, we won't pop for anything country.
Right.
That's part of the fucking problem, because the closer you get to like Minnesota, Nebraska, the more you get just nothing crowds that shit on everything, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, it's really, you gotta either be far to the east, far to the south, or far to the west. But that Midwest part of the country, or at least the more western part of the Midwest, that's kind of wrestling death right there.
Right.
Vern Gagne died, and the industry out there died with him. Like, they say Southerners are bitter about the death of Crockett. Oh, boy. Anyways. So, yeah. What did you think overall of the match and the way it ended?
So, I've got no real qualms with the match at hand on the whole. I've been saying it for a while. It was your typical standard Roman Reigns affair. He didn't put anything different into the match that I'm aware of. And to be fair, neither did Sammy. They didn't really go all out with it like they could have, but they kept it simple and fresh, I suppose. It was when we got the storyline aspects of the match going with all the run-ins with the Jimmies, the Jays. No Solo though, because he was at home doing stuff. We don't know what Solo is doing. That upsets me greatly. Where's my boy? I thought it was very poorly handled because up until this point, I think Jay had been missing entirely.
Yeah.
And then he pops up in this match.
Yeah.
And he's got that moment where they kind of tease the turn with him in the exact same way that Sammy turned, where Roman gives him the chair, tells him smack Sammy, and then he walks up to Sammy and main event Jay holding the chair there, thinking it over. But he doesn't act like Sammy. He doesn't act at all. So then Roman takes the chair away, shoves him out of the ring, and that was awkward. It didn't do anything for the story, I felt.
No, it's kind of indicating we're going to keep waffling on Jay to set up WrestleMania.
Right, exactly. To me, it felt like Elimination Chamber was anomalous because they had the story that they want to do with Roman and Jay and Cody and all that other nonsense. But they didn't want to actively pursue anything that night. They wanted to keep everything going on the back burner so they could go through with their actual WrestleMania plans, setting Sammy aside and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought the Jimmy and Jay run-ins were poorly executed. I thought that didn't advance the story whatsoever, and I have a feeling that they didn't want to advance the story whatsoever.
Yeah, it's almost the classic Vince example of I have had something put in my lap that I don't want to do, so I'm not going to do it.
Right. So,
and the issue is you now have this just issue of everyone who gets into wrestling now believes believes that their plans are more important than what the fans actually want.
Uh-huh.
Because Tony's over there doing the same fucking thing.
Uh-huh.
Like, who are the most over acts in the company? Generally not the guys who are at the top of the card.
Yep.
MJF maybe, but like...
remember, there was that one tag team they have that got like super popular overnight over in AEW. And then they had I think it's the Acclaimed, yeah. And then they had their I was about to say WrestleMania. Then they had their pay-per-view match for the tag team titles, and they lost. And the crowd was livid. The internet was livid. Everyone and their mothers, the Acclaimed's grandmothers, they were livid. And then Tony had to kind of do a reactionary walk it back like 2 weeks later when they got another shot at the titles and won this time because, he dropped the ball the first time, and that tag team match was with against I want to say Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland.
Yeah,
I don't remember his professional name, but yeah, what a tag team those guys turned out to be, right? They're still definitely together, right? They're still making money hand over fist, right? So, yeah, that was pretty big example. Probably, I want to say Tony's biggest example of him having a plan and sticking with it at a time where the fans clearly wanted something else. Unfortunately, there's a lot of plans like that in wrestling, and kind of hard to understand why.
Well, Tony's bigger issue than plans is just he's listening to the wrong people, right?
Right. Another big issue with Tony is that he's got his favorites.
How many big up-and-coming singles young guys have got hot for a second, and then been put in a feud with Jericho. Because Jericho's done that 4 or 5 fucking times now.
Yep.
Because Jericho believes he can suck the heat off these young guys. And Jericho, who has become worse than Hollywood Hogan. And that feels insane to say.
Right?
Could anyone have predicted this? Fucking fight monsters become them or whatever. Oh, God. Like... Yeah, anyways, yeah. For a second, I think, like, oh, Dodie ain't doing too great right now. Then I look it over at AEW, and it's like, actually, Dodie's doing fine. So, I believe that's about what we can say for the Elimination Chamber. Let me hit last night's SmackDown real quick.
There was a SmackDown last night?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, you know, sometimes they forget it's Friday, and they upload it on Saturday. Anyways, so... mostly kind of... So... Let me see. Let me hit just what I can think of. They had... no, that's not important. Natalya versus Shayna Baszler with Tegan Nox at ringside for Natalya.
Tegan Nox?
Yeah, and they actually just had a backstage segment where Tegan Nox goes and tells Natalya, "Hey, it's unfair they keep ganging up on you, so I'm gonna go out there with you tonight." And I was just shocked, like, holy shit, babyfaces acting like babyfaces. Stop the fucking presses. Natalya jobs as per usual. However, Tegan Nox then steps in and spooks off Shayna and Ronda, which is a surprise. And Ronda shouts, "Who is this girl?" Which buries Tegan a little bit, but is also very funny, because it's like, okay, yeah, Ronda probably wouldn't know.
Yeah, has she been on any prior SmackDowns up to this point? I didn't know she was back with the company.
Tegan's been back with the company for like...
No, Ronda.
Oh,
Ronda's been back.
Ronda's been the SmackDown Women's Champion for like... What was the SmackDown Women's Champion like a fucking year ago?
Well, that doesn't matter. Has she been actually showing up on SmackDown?
Consistently, more or less consistently for about 2 months now. Her and Shayna have been building up a tag team run.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed. I had no idea.
Oh, good God.
What?
They had one backstage segment where Ray is saying, "I'm going to kick, Karrion Kross's ass." And then Santos comes up and
That's the only thing he can reach.
Yeah. Santos comes up and says, "Hey, Ray, it's bullshit the way people treat you, especially that damn kid of yours." And then as if, like, you speak of the devil and he shall appear, Dominic, morphs into existence like a fucking pile of evil satanic goo on the ground. And Dominic just appears and he's like, "Ha ha, you suck, Dad." And Santos goes like, "All right, kid, I'm going to beat your ass in a second." He turns around to Ray and he just pretty well says to Ray, "I'm going to beat your kid's ass." And he turns back around and Rhea and Dominic have swapped places. And Santos goes, "Oh shit, my morality gets in the way yet again. Being a face sucks. I should go back to being a heel so I can hit women." Anyways. Is that going to be Rhea's weakness? Now Santos is involved, so Santos may bring Zelina, and then once Rhea has to fight another woman, she loses her power.
Oh no!
Now Rio's weakness will be when Ray teams up with...
Proves to be a real threat.
Rio's weakness will be when Ray teams up with Stone Cold.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh. oh.
Great Bear, raise some hell, beat Deborah.
Anyways.
And I mean, to be fair, like, after Kevin Owens I haven't seen Rhea Ripley in a match, but just going off of what I know of the people who aren't Rhea Ripley, Rhea's probably the second most safe person they could put with Stone Cold to making sure he doesn't die in the ring.
Yeah, Rhea's not. Speaking, we were talking about people who are stiff earlier. Rhea's not. I love her, but yeah, the Riptide, very gentle put him back down kind of move. Anyways. So yeah, they had that segment. Let's see. Then later on that night, they had Ray
is petitioning to become Rey Mysterio's new son.
Yes.
You know.
Quality television. I love it. I'm all in.
Ray, they had Ray versus Karrion Kross, and that's one of those matches that you look at it, and it's just like, oh God, help us all. Thankfully, the important part of the match was not the actual match. And by the way, shout out to Scarlett Bordeaux coming out wearing actual clothes this time. She's progressing.
Unheard of.
I put this out. Okay, so Kross is supposed to be a killer, right? He goes out, he kills people. First of all, he has been booked that way. He shouldn't have come back immediately into a big pay-per-view match with Drew. He should have came back killing jabronis. Putting that aside, nothing kills the mystique of this, like, apocalyptic killer. He is the end of your career. Oh, it's the sign of the end times. Like, him and his wife coming out there and lip-syncing their own theme song like a bunch of goobers. Nothing says, like, I think I'm the coolest. Like, having your own theme song that you lip-sync.
Don't you remember all those times Triple H lip-synced to the game?
Yeah.
That was peak Reign of Terror Triple H right there.
Don't forget Hollywood Hogan coming out there lip-syncing to Jimi Hendrix.
No, that was him singing.
Yeah. And him on guitar.
Yeah.
Jimmy came to him and he said, "Well, Hulkster brother, I gotta tell you, dude, that brother, I need you to. I'm gonna be dying soon, brother, but I'm gonna need you to make one last album in my name, dude." Well, brother, I had no choice but to turn down Mr. Hendrix, brother, because I was just that dedicated to wrestling, brother. But then I figured out, dude, that I could do both at the same time, brother, and so I did, brother. And that's how I did it. One love. Anyways, so, yeah, after the match, Dominic comes out, he interferes, so Kross wins, woohoo. Dominic comes in, and Dominic starts pushing Ray around, and Ray finally rears back and stops himself. So, we're gonna get domestic abuse at WrestleMania this year, huh?
Nice.
Boy, I'm so excited. I need to mark my calendar.
It's gonna be so great, fucking wrestling fans just cheering like, yeah, beat your kid, beat your kid, beat your kid.
No, Dominic's talked about it. Remember the WWE 13 tweet?
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get home and play this game and beat my kids.
Yeah, Canon.
Oh boy. All right. Okay. So, let's see. Dominic was all over SmackDown tonight because they also had, okay, Charlotte is going to cut a promo with Rhea. Wait, that's not Rhea, that's Dominic. Dominic gets in the ring with Charlotte. Okay. And then Dominic proceeds to cut the most awkward promo ever about, like, oh man, Rhea's not only great, but she's hot. And Charlotte, you're hot. But Rhea's hot. I like and he's, working his way through the promo to try and work around. I love to be fucking violently topped by a big BDSM woman. I am somewhere between disgusted, amused, and like, what is this, right?
You're finding Dominic very relatable.
But hey now.
Where's Damian Priest to calm Dominic down?
You're stealing G-Man's gimmick, Eddie. Yeah, Like, boy, if there's anything that could bring me down from Rhea, it's Dominic. Anyways, and then Charlotte starts talking about, oh, shut up about calling me hot. I got a real Mexican man at home. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. What is happening?
When is Andrade coming back?
Dominic against Charlotte in a Mexican spouse match.
Why did we
Rhea's
even
not
have
Mexican.
Charlotte marry
I
Andrade
know.
if he's not going to come back? Disgusting. Why? Why do they do this to me?
Oh, fuck.
But I figure Charlotte would fight over it regardless, just because that's what she brought up.
I do have to give Dominic credit. It was an incredibly awkward promo, and GOG Gaming was kind of right that the awkwardness did kind of add to it. But, like, I have to give Dominic credit for actually managing to do the entirety of that promo with a straight face.
Not crack up.
Because if they told me to go out there and talk about how much of a fucking Latino heat man, hermano, no, that's not the right word, that's brother. That's Mexican Hulk Hogan.
Dominic goes
I'm a real man,
out.
hermano.
Dominic goes out. I just need to let them know how much of a pendejo I am.
I think he did say something like that, actually. I think he did call himself a pendejo, or he called Charlotte a pendejo. Anyways, like, just tell him to go out there and talk about how he's a Mexican man, and he loves being dominated by this big woman. Oh, boy. And Charlotte was cracking quite a bit throughout the promo, and again, I can't blame her, because it was just so fundamentally absurd.
Yeah.
But the absurdness is more fun than just having someone go out there and cut the same scripted wooden promo of, like, you are bad and you don't deserve to have the belt you do. I will beat your ass, and just to show that we are appealing to the smarks, we will work in a meta joke here. Like, no, this was goofy and awkward and weird, but it had character, Yeah. And Charlotte prepares to do what she does to any man, who displeases her, which she retrieves Drew Gulak and puts him in the figure eight. No, she goes to swing at Dominic, and Rhea appears.
Like the Undertaker.
And Dominic peels out of the ring. Rhea does not pick up a mic, because God bless Rhea, she's not a good promo, so keep her away from the mic. And they peel out. And there was LA Knight versus Kofi Kingston, which was a weird match to book to begin with. Solid match. Kofi was going through the motions. Kofi is very solidly in going through the motions territory. He's kind of been there for years now. But
I was about to say, he's been in going through the motions territory for 5 years.
Yep.
LA Knight putting in actual work, not just doing his usual moves, and working like a heel, and doing a very good display. And LA Knight cut a great promo beforehand, and he didn't let the New Day just walk all over him. Thank God. But they nonetheless book it to be that Kofi wins.
Oh, that's a great play. Really leaning into our future in the company. Yeah,
He needed that win.
absolutely. His career might have been over if he had not beaten LA Knight on this night.
As a booker, you got to recognize there are some guys that are Teflon, and it doesn't matter how much you bury them, the fans will still pop and pay to see them. New Day are in that category. You can bury New Day as much as you want. The fans are still going to pop for New Day.
Hey,
I never
they have
popped for New Day.
You can bury them. Free heat.
Turn Roman face by making him kill all of the New Day. Well, the two remaining members, I guess. Leave Biggie alone.
Somebody already killed Biggie.
Biggie was already killed by Rage. Come on.
I know.
But Addy, you're in booking for yourself territory there. Oh, man. Anyways, yeah, that's dumb. They had a Firefly Funhouse segment, and it was just okay, here's an empty dollhouse. Okay, here's Bray looking at his own footage and commentating on it. Here's Bray in front of a green screen acting like he's a news presenter and saying bad things are going to happen to Bobby Lashley. Then here's Uncle Howdy also in front of a news screen because Lord knows we needed to turn this character into a fucking joke too. And then there...
I don't know why I thought you were gonna say it. I don't know why I thought you were gonna say Bray Wyatt. Just there's a segment about how bad things are gonna happen to Obama. The fuck.
oh.
He just Bray Wyatt starts a feud.
I come to make an announcement. Yeah. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking wife. That's right. He took his hedgehog fucking quilly dick out and he pissed on my fucking wife and he said his dick was this big. And I said, that's disgusting. So I'm making a call.
There we go. Anyways.
If Bray Wyatt caught that promo, people might actually have a reason to watch him.
So it cuts again back to the empty Firefly Funhouse, but now the door's open and there's a green screen on the other side of it, and it's just playing like an endless row of spinal cords, and then broken TVs, and it's just kind of like, Bray, you don't fucking get it, man. He does get it, because he keeps making money and selling merch and getting employed without having to wrestle barely at all, and without having to actually really do anything that makes sense. But at the same time, he doesn't get it. Because it's like, okay, how does this build to fucking wrestling? And it's...
But if you would just watch his, if you would just watch his arg, then you'd get it.
And I'm just watching it, and I'm just like I'm wanting to fucking curl up in my seat and die, right?
Yeah.
Because this is the shit that when you watch it, it makes you go, I don't want to be caught watching this. This isn't, you know, like, this is the shit that turns people off of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the shits. Anyways, one last segment. Okay, we got Jimmy Uso comes out. Paul told him earlier in that night, get Jay in order. Get your fucking household in order, brother. I'm making this your problem. Roman's not here right now, so I get to order you and Solo around like little bitches. And I like that Paul has suddenly become so much more... aggressive now that Sammy's out of the way, right?
Yeah.
So it's like now there's someone who's... Now we're missing the other voice, the other supposed strategic mind here. Now I'm in control. Anyways, yeah, Paul tells Jimmy to get Jay in order. So Jimmy goes out to the ring. And Jimmy says, all right, Jay, blah, blah, blah. Then Sammy arrives, hops the barrier, comes in the ring. Jimmy nearly swings at him, but stops. Sammy gets on the mic and says, dude, I don't want to be enemies. You were the first to accept me into the bloodline. You were the first to treat me with respect. You were the first to not shit on me. You were the one who vouched for me. But dude, you were also the first to betray me. Like, what is your problem? Jimmy says he betrayed him. All this, that, and another. And Sammy says, look, Jimmy, I'm just telling you now, I don't really have a beef with you. I still like you. You don't have to go down with the ship. I'm going against Roman. I'm taking Roman down no matter what. I'm taking Paul down no matter what. Solo is probably also going to catch some strays because I don't give a shit about him. But you don't have to go down with the ship. I'll build the bridge to Roman's funeral out of Solo's corpse. Anyways. And Jimmy just says, nope, fuck you. Jay arrives. Sammy gets distracted by Jay. Jimmy Pearl Harbors him. But Sammy comes back and Sammy hits the haluva kick. Sammy hops the ring. Him and Jay kind of lock eyes for just a minute, but then Jay hops the barrier opposite to Jimmy and walks out of the arena. And that ends the show. Which Jay is kept ambiguous, but this did not seem like it was so much building to Sammy and KO versus Usos. this seemed like it was building up to Sammy versus Roman number 2.
Yeah.
For it to specifically be, because Sammy and KO versus the Usos is not going to be hurting Roman, not really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it implies Sammy still wants payback on Roman, you know?
Yeah.
And if they keep Jay ambiguous, you know, it's a good question. It's a lot of copium, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Huh. Anyways, SmackDown with some solid spots, but also the Firefly Funhouse and having LA Knight job to Kofi. Like, there was also some serious downsides, you know?
Right.
Mid SmackDown, I'd say.
Yeah. Having Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux on screen doesn't help matters.
No, it doesn't.
Where was my boy Solo?
Yes. I mean, Solo is still locked in here as the guy who is just part of the storyline. Which, fair enough, it gives Roman an enforcer even when Jay's turned on him and Roman seems intent on bullying Jimmy.
Yep.
Which I like that Jimmy, who has seemed to be outside of Solo, who pretty well is just an automaton, outside of Solo, Jimmy has been the one who's by far the most loyal to Roman. And right now, Roman won't stop picking on him and bullying him and telling him, you know, hey, you're a fuck up, get your shit in order, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just making more and more heat for Roman.
Yeah.
And my God, if they did do the triple threat at WrestleMania, could you imagine the thunderous boos Roman is going to get after all of this shit, after he's dicked around everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's just hope Cody recognizes we've come back around to this situation that happens roughly once every 10 years.
Yep.
WrestleMania 10, it's Bret Hart, it's Lex Luger, it's Yokozuna. Lex needs to step aside and let Bret be the hero. WrestleMania 20, don't really want to talk about it so much because of later things that occurred, but it's Benoit, it's HBK, it's Triple H. HBK needs to step aside. Benoit went on to do horrible things, which makes all of his storylines poisoned in hindsight, but nonetheless.
Nonetheless, yeah.
WrestleMania 30, it's Daniel Bryan, it's Batista, it's Orton. Batista needs to step aside and let Daniel Bryan in. And now it's again Sammy, Cody, Roman. Cody needs to step aside and let Sammy be the hero.
Mm-hmm.
Either which way, I believe that we are good to wrap up the podcast now. Unless, Pink, you've got some last sentiments to get in here.
I don't believe I do. I think I'm good to call it.
All right.